I'm in the Kachkar Mountains in Turkey. Why, you might be asking? Because I've had to travel to altitudes that can match Sharon's delusion in this episode. She is so far in the clouds. Her brain, heart, head, every bit of her is so far up there. I've had to come up here as well. Now, you might be asking, but why Turkey though? Why the Turkish mountains, mate? Because she flies to Turkey from South Africa trying to meet this guy. So that should be a fun time. Oh, and you're going to want to stick around till the end because we actually check out the live stream and find out she might be in a real life relationship this time.
This woman flew across the globe to meet with her internet boyfriend.
His name is Dennis Dershals. I saw this very mature guy say that I've never been married, I have no kids.
Hold on a second. First of all, her accent's got a twang of Australia or South Africa. So, yeah, I could be very wrong, of course. But I could be very wrong that I'm looking at a TikTok profile here. First of all, Dennis the Great. Interesting name you've got there. You think very highly of yourself. But if you are on TikTok saying single, no kids, dating 50 plus years, I don't know what that means, by the way, dating 50 plus years. Is that who you prefer to date? Or that you have been dating for 50 plus years? And if you've still had no luck, then maybe just be with yourself, I think, is the lesson to learn there. That is not something you put in a TikTok profile. But, okay, he's treating TikTok like Tinder. Just because they're both T's doesn't mean the TT agrees.
And I'm looking for a woman 50 and over. He's
okay.
got this amazing personality. And he would send me these messages that would just make my heart drop.
Your heart should drop, because especially at your age is a backhanded compliment, in my opinion. I could be very wrong. Let me know in the comments. Once you say especially ... that's like saying, okay, so what you're saying is everyone else who is that age is not beautiful. So that's bad. So I don't know. Sharon, get a grip.
He's going to take me to Italy. We're going to get married. So I think that was something that I really, really enjoyed.
Sharon was swept off her feet by Dennis. Good looks and charm.
Hold on. That's fitting that I've paused it once the screen looks like that, because my head is already a mess. Let's go backwards a bit. What's happened to his neck? It doesn't fit his body. Some weird shadowing effect on his jumper there. Where is he? Is he just stood in a hotel lobby of some kind doing this? I'm gonna move out the way. Why is there... Why is there an exclamation mark in the bottom right-hand corner? Can you see that? I didn't know that was a feature. When you take pictures, you can see exclamations. Sharon, Dennis loves you. Okay, so he's speaking in third person, no less. And the handwriting's incredible. So just everything is wrong about this. I don't know how genuinely you're looking at this as a supposed lover and thinking to yourself, this is all great. I love this so much. Get a grip. Some people like to say loneliness is a factor. And whilst it can be, there are certain cases where surely we have to draw the line somewhere. This ain't loneliness. This is foolishness.
Charm. But the puppy love didn't last forever.
Okay, so this guy's telling her that he needs money to go see her in person.
It would require a deposit of $5,200, to get all his paperwork and everything up and running.
Sorry, what?
It showed that it had gone through the $5,200. Now there's so much negativity going on with my family and my friends. They're like, no, it was a lot to have to deal with, and the reality that they might be telling me the truth.
Join us on this episode of Scamfish. We'll figure out the truth behind this Dennis profile.
So do you want to hear where the person is that you're actually talking to?
Yes, please.
Oh my God.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Go do
Your
that.
engagement with our videos help us reach new audiences and can potentially stop other people from being scammed.
Oh, you already are.
Okay, David, we have another case. This comes from a woman named Sharon, and I'll read you her email. Hi, Catfish team. I'm desperately trying to find the man who asked me to send over $17,000 while claiming to be a German aerospace engineer.
Nice.
He says he is in Turkey and needs money to come to South Africa to be with me.
I was correct with South Africa, and I was thinking just not long ago that I might get slewed in the comments for saying Australia, because I actually don't hear anything Australian about that accent. So, forgive I said that in the beginning, okay? And by the way, just for reference, I'm not AI. This is still H. If you're wondering, why have I got headphones on? Because the recording was just messing up, okay? I kept hearing an echo of some kind, so headphones were the only way to fix it.
Didn't ask.
Hopefully it doesn't damage the product. Some might argue I do that myself anyway, but I just shut up.
I have searched for his company, found nothing, and now I realize I may have been deceived.
Okay.
Please, I need your help to know if Dennis is truly who he says he is. Sincerely, Sharon.
Can I, as it fades to blackness there, as my brain is, I really wish everyone who does have some sort of a bad feeling about something, you're feeling deceived, for example, it is okay to even take that slither of a feeling and just run with it, okay? What's the worst that can happen? You miss out on the potential love of your life? I don't bloody think so, because this potential love of your life doesn't give a shit about you enough to come and meet you, and they're making you jump through all sorts of hoops, obstacles, doing gymnastics, and the gymnastics involves paying out a lot of money. That's never good. But, if someone wants me to do gymnastics for them, will you pay me a pretty penny? I'll do all sorts for you. But seriously, if you have a bad feeling about something, just, use it. Because what's the worst that can happen, as I said,
Hi, my name is Sharon. I'm from Durban, South Africa. I
Hello.
am 59 years old. I was a retail customer services manager for 27 years of my time. Currently, I am working for the government, so I look after the youth.
Ooh.
I have 2 kids. My daughter's just turned 34 and my son is 29 years old. And I have one adorable granddaughter who's 4 years old. And I have recently been divorced. Basically, I was married first for 19 years. I got divorced, and then I met my second husband, and we got married like 2 years after that. We were married for 9 years. We just decided that we like wasting one another's time because he was so busy working, I was busy working. We didn't have time for each other. And it was when I made the decision that I would divorce him, and also I would, leave work after 27 years.
After a divorce with her second husband,
Fair.
Sharon also retired from her job with a fund of around $200,000.
I do feel, though, that I understand, obviously, situations change when in a marriage, for example, and you maybe start a new job and it takes a lot of your time, XYZ, but I would have loved to have known, obviously, she don't owe me anything. I'm a rat boy in a chair, do you know what I mean? But I would have loved to known if it was like that in the beginning. Of course, as I said, situations change, circumstances change. But if it was a case of them working a lot and not having a lot of time for each other early on, before marriage, potentially it was probably better for them both to not get married. So maybe a little bit more context, just for me to basically say, you can learn a lot if you truly will fit together in a marriage with someone early on. So let me know in the comments. Again, things change as time goes on, but maybe you would have known you both worked too much in the beginning. I'm waffling.
It was soon after she started getting contacted by men online and hit it off with someone who she met on TikTok.
It just kind of fell on me. I wasn't looking to date. I had sworn I would never, ever get married again.
It's becoming a pet peeve of mine that the guests come on here saying that they weren't looking to date. How have you ended up in this situation then? Because I very much guarantee you that you think the other person is doing up all this romantic, I can't believe it, I've got to drop all sorts of panties for this individual. But we're obviously going to see a lot of red flags. but none of them seem to have wanting to date. Really? I don't believe that, because even if someone comes along that you do think, hey, this person might be good for me, if you truly do not want to date, I recommend you stick with your gut feeling, because there's a reason you're telling yourself you don't want to date. So don't be swindled. Or if you are going to have an open mind about it, let it flourish over time. I don't know the time frame as of yet, but knowing this show, probably in like the first week or two, she fell head over heels. And also TikTok. That's not the place to meet someone, but I'm not a love guru. Maybe you can meet someone on TikTok. I just think it's not the best place.
And that is when I got the first invite on TikTok.
Invite for what?
His name is Dennis Dershals.
Why does every single one of his pictures, I'm not going to move out the way. Every single one of his pictures, I'm going to move out the way. Every single one of his pictures has an exclamation mark on it, bro. What is so shocking about his images? Okay.
I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw this very mature guy say that I've never been married, I have no kids, and I'm looking for a woman 50 and over. Both my husbands were much younger than me.
Oh.
And I thought, you know what, I've messed up with younger guys, so maybe old is better. And then not long after that, I've got a chat and he started talking to me.
Thanks.
And that's
Hold on. Thanks for liking my profile. Am I like missing out on what TikTok this is? Is there like some Temu version of TikTok that is for dating? Like, you tick, you talk. There's meaning behind that. I don't understand. She got an invite. Like, I assume she means she got a friend request or something to follow. I don't know, man. If I haven't been on TikTok in so long, maybe it's become a dating website.
And that's how we started to get to chats.
Okay.
Well, he's good looking. He's got grey hair. He's got brown eyes. Wears glasses. Nice looking guy. But the thing about him is the way he spoke. But like really encapsulated you.
Encapsulated.
Gets your attention. 100%.
Goodness.
So he said he's from Germany. And
Shut
he's
up
an
with
aerospace
Turkey.
engineer. And lots of times in our conversations, he would say, I need to go. I'm going on the plant, or else I'll talk to you later when I get off the plant. And my request for videos was always turned down as because, no, we're not allowed
Of course.
to make videos.
Secret.
But I did get constant phone calls, sometimes non-stop throughout the day. All my friends started getting to know now, this is Dennis, He's got this amazing personality. And he would send me these messages that would just make my heart drop. I've never seen somebody your age look so stunning, and you're never going to age. He was always very, very complimentary.
Okay, first of all, I understand the romanticism about this all. You're never going to age. People age, all right? Get a grip of yourself, because you're fixating beauty to age here somewhat, especially at your age. That's so backhanded. It's insane, bro. It's like someone telling me that I'm,
Are you high or just incredibly stupid?
Cypriotness. And they say, oh, you're not ugly for a Cypriot. What? And it makes sense, all right? That's what it sounds like to me. But I understand maybe it can be seen as a compliment. But for everyone watching this, it's not a compliment, all right? If someone tells you that you're good looking for your age, what the hell you're putting down everyone else? You know what I mean? That's not a compliment. I liken it to those people who, when you're, for example, right, back at uni, couple of guys just hanging out, lads, yeah. Whenever a girl, for example, would enter the fold, there would be one guy who seems to, for some reason, develop a hatred for the rest of the boys and starts slewing them so that they seem better in the eyes of the girl. Does that make sense? Those type of people. That's what this is giving, Dennis. Stop it. You don't need to put others down to give a compliment. I'm just saying. So I'm watching you, Sharon, because that's giving a bit pick-me-ish.
Because he did say he's going to take me to Dubai first so we can get engaged. He's
Dubai?
going to take me to Italy. We're going to get married.
Woo!
And then we're going to travel the world. I would sit and I would look at these messages and it was just so deep. So I think that was something that I really, really enjoyed.
Oh, thankfully I've paused it on this image because I'm going to talk about the deepness of it all. So deep, I'm not even going to give you a real image. It really pisses me off that this type of image can swindle people. It's just hilarious. Okay. I think it's also hilarious that he had a lot of time throughout the day to constantly phone. Is it not working? What happened to his job? Doesn't matter anymore, does it? You're not allowed to send pictures of yourself or a video call or whatever, but you are allowed to drop a line all the time. So what's this then? If it's not allowed, what is this? Did the scammer say, "Hold on, I need to ask my manager if I'm allowed," and they spent the next day or two trying to Photoshop this? That's what I'm led to believe.
Sharon was swept off by Dennis's good looks and charming personality. The two became even closer when Dennis wanted to move from his job in Turkey to be with Sharon in South Africa. The only issue was it had to get approved by the company he worked for first.
He then asked me to send an email to his company requesting him to get leave. So he gave me the details for Aerospace company. So then I emailed the company and they returned the email to say they have to process this for him and it would require a deposit of $5,200.
Goodness me, man. I mean, first of all, I've never heard of someone else having to request your own leave from work. I mean, that would be nice if I don't know, my mum could put in a word and say, "Can he leave for a few weeks, please?" But that's not how it works. And obviously she worked in a very different field. But surely taking leave from work isn't that much different depending on the industry, the field, etc. Did she ever have to get someone else to do it for her? And did she ever have to pay moolahs for it? Because surely that defeats the purpose of taking leave from work.
To get all his paperwork and everything up and running.
Sheesh.
And because my mind was so taken up now by this guy and this idea that he's going to come here and we're going to have this life and I'm going to travel the world. I love traveling. So I was rushing to get this done and we did it and we processed and everything. And then eventually it showed that it had gone through the $5,200.
Okay, so willy-nilly, no questions asked, but she touched on it there. She was sort of, so encapsulated, as she said earlier, with this guy. Please, everyone, whilst I understand you might have strong feelings for someone, it doesn't mean that you drop everything and do whatever it is you do with that person, all right? There are times you need to take a step back and truly think about what the hell you are doing before you put yourself in a position where you are a detriment to your own self. And I'm sorry you can't say this is in the name of love, because being in love or being in strong feelings or whatever, it doesn't mean that you become a fool. All right? Just need to point that out. Don't let love blind you.
And then a couple of days later, the company sends me an email to say they haven't received the funds. But I'd already sent them the proof of payment. So then they said, "No, but you can make another payment and we will refund your first payment."
What the hell are you talking about?
Sorry, refund your first payment, but you didn't get the payment. So what are you refunding? You're basically saying we're going to dip into our own bank account and give you free money. Because if you didn't receive it, how are you refunding it, you donkey of a scammer? But it doesn't matter, because it's worked. It's also really interesting that they're using a Gmail, because someone in HR, I presume, or someone who deals with this finance and, pay us to let this guy go and leave, they're going to have a company email. And a manager of 20 plus years, I think she was, you would also have a company email, because I don't think someone especially in some level of authority in a company is going to be using Gmail. So there's a lot of red flags here. She did touch on it. She's so in love with the guy, basically. Once again, don't let that be a thing.
I didn't process it. I didn't have any problems. I sent off the second
Keep your wits
$5,200.
about you.
Now he was like going on, okay, now, serious, you're going to get your money back. We're really going to have a good time, I can't wait. And it wasn't
Shut
long
up,
after
Dennis.
that I emailed them and I said to them, okay, so what's happening with my first $5,200, when would I get it back?
Never.
They said, no, as soon as he arrives in your country, for us to ensure that he's safe, then we will give back the money. I'm like, but this is not what you guys agreed. And I was feeling uneasy, but also thinking, you know what, this is just a short phase that I have to go through.
Despite feeling unsure about the whole situation, Sharon sent over $10,000 to his aerospace company, thinking that it was done and Dennis could come home.
He looks AI
but
there.
It still wasn't enough.
And then eventually, while I was in Cape Town, then I got another email from the company. Because he's an engineer, they can't just put him on a normal, regular flight. He's going to have to take a private flight. Okay, so then they're okay, to process everything now, we need $7,000. And I'm like, oh, I said, okay, what do I need $7,000 for? Well, we're going to pay for his ticket, for him to come there. It's insurance for him and everything.
Wow. Everything else is so important that there's no space between everything and else. That's how you know this guy is so important. Everything must be secure. I find it very fascinating that they're treating him like some sort of high-level government figure. Yeah, I mean, with his security, travel insurance, everything, he has to board a special flight. He's the engineer. You got no other engineers? Obviously, I don't wish anything happens to Dennis, but we're treating him as if he's some kind of god right now. Let's get a grip of ourselves here. I don't understand how this has swindled her, but I guess I sound like a parrot by keep on saying she's obviously very enamored by him. Bet you didn't know I knew that word. But again, I must stress to everyone, please, don't let yourself become a fool because of love. It's supposed to be a nice thing that you don't become a fool or something like that.
And he was kept on coaxing, do this, It's for us. Imagine meeting me at the airport, what we're going to go through,
The
how we're going to
gaslighting.
feel.
It's
And
crazy.
I sent the $7,000 through another local account. So then I said to him, okay, now we're set now. There's no more reasons for us to delay. There's no more reasons for us to pay. He's like, yes.
Over $17,000 later, it still wasn't enough to get Dennis home.
Hold on a second here, because I'm looking at someone who, first of all, I hope I am covering this sculpture thing in the background because its penile shaft is on show. So if not, I've blurred it with an emoji. But I'm looking at someone here. Obviously, he looks very different with longer hair, but he just looks like he would be, the KFC Colonel's son. But the son has taken up an art degree at university, and part-time, they're a cowboy working in a saloon. That's what this picture is giving me. What a handsome man, I can't lie. Just make sure the penile shaft is covered in the background.
Instead, while on vacation, Sharon flew to Turkey to try and see Dennis in person.
Okay, that picture's AI.
It so happened that I had flown up to Doha, to Qatar with my sister, and we went back. But my intention was asking for Turkey because I know that Dennis is in Turkey. So she says, okay, no problem. She says, let's process our stuff. She does everything, gets the visas done, everything. We jump on a flight, and before we get there, I said to him, Dennis, I'm coming to Turkey. He's like, really? I said, yes, I'm coming to Turkey. And he says, I'm going to meet you at the airport. I'm like, okay, no problem. We fly to Turkey. Get there, there's no Dennis at the airport. So I phoned him like, what's going on? He says, no, I'm not allowed to go out. So I said, okay, then why did you say you were going to come out? He said, no,
Thank you.
Because he's on a 2-year contract apparently.
What a sack of shit Dennis is. He has the responsibility of a rock. You don't know that your contract has XYZ. You're not allowed to go out. You're a prisoner is what I'm led to believe here. Or you're being held hostage by your employers. Which one is it then? Because this don't sound like a good job, mate. But you would have known this if you really had some life responsibility about yourself, you dumbass. So you've wasted her money. If this was a real scenario and I did this for someone, I'm flying out, some crazy job they have, they're not allowed to come out or whatever. If you tell me once I get to that country, I'm calling things off, okay? I would hope that I would see the red flags before this, but if I'm at that point still, well, I bloody hope I'd bloody call it off,
I got into Turkey and I'm sitting there, but my mind's not there. Everything is Dennis orientated.
Sharon bent over backwards for Dennis.
Correct.
Sending all of this money and flying to Turkey despite still not meeting him in person. Her friends and family became more and more concerned about this relationship and felt like they finally needed to step in.
Now there's so much negativity going on with my family and my friends. They're like, no, why are you giving this money? My son's saying, you know what, I need to take your money because you're just throwing money left, right, and center. My daughter's even worse because she's in Cape Town and I'm in Durban. She's like, no, Mom, we need to stop this. We need to take your money and we need to stop it. And my friends started leaving one by one.
Wow.
A couple of them were spreading rumors that I'm going out with a Nigerian guy. So it was a lot to have to deal with, and the reality that they might be telling me the truth. So I would go back to Dennis all the time and I would say to him, but why am I seeing so many profiles of you?
Do you know it's concerning that she's asking these questions, but, seemingly she's still in this quote-unquote relationship? If you're asking these questions, honestly, you should run away. If you're asking your partner, why am I seeing so many fake profiles? You run away. I said partner as if... It's very concerning if in real life your partner has many fake profiles. I don't know what kind of catfish story that becomes, but that's concerning. But if you are online speaking to someone and you do come across many fake profiles of them, run away, please. But also recognize that the account that you're speaking to most likely is also fake. So
He comes back and he sends me this long message.
oh,
I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Please forgive me. I would never ever hurt you. And I would like us to get back. Please, can you invite me on Google Chat?
What just happened
Can we
there?
fix this? Now I'm struggling because my money is like really put away and I don't have access to it. So it is becoming a challenge for me, and it would be nice
What's
to
he
get kind of
apologized
back all
for?
that money again.
Stick around until the end, Seekers. We'll do some digging and find out if Dennis is telling the truth.
So do you want to hear where the person is that you're actually talking to?
Yes, please.
Well, me and you synced last week, Sharon, and we created a tracker together. Well, he used it, and he definitely tried to click on it.
Why does she look
If
so
you
different?
like this
then?
video, please consider subscribing.
Go do that.
And once you've done that, give this video a like too.
Do that to this video as well, please.
Hey Seekers, if you're only following us here, you're missing half the story.
Follow Catfish Online on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for updates and content we don't share on YouTube.
Oh. Go do that.
Have
That
you
was
been
interesting.
communicating with someone online, but
No.
something just doesn't feel right?
I have not.
You're not alone. And we're here to help.
Okay.
Our expert search specialist can investigate your case and help you uncover the truth. And don't worry, this is completely private and confidential.
Say less.
And is separate from our YouTube channel. Submitting your case does not mean it will be featured on our YouTube. If you need answers, click the link in this episode's description to submit your case now.
Go and do that.
We're here to help you get the clarity you deserve.
Go and do that.
After hearing Sharon's case, David and Brienne got together to come up with a game plan.
Okay, so this guy's telling her that he needs money to go see her in person.
Yep, that's correct. So basically, he's been pestering her, asking her to send him funds. She did. He never showed up. So she took matters into her own hands. Her and her friends flew to Turkey
That's crazy, by the
to
way.
meet him.
Don't do that.
She got stood up.
Obviously, some people will have a different experience of this because I do know people have commented stories about them in long distance relationships and they meet for the first time in a different country and stuff like that. But know they're real first. Okay, even a video call. Sometimes a video call, please be aware though, could be AI and fake anyway. But at the very least, see that individual multiple times on a video call before flying out to meet them. And also, don't surprise them. Or at the very least, figure out if their job allows it. He's being hostaged, by the way.
At this point, after that episode, her friends and family think she's part of a scam and they're worried for her. She's lost a big chunk of her retirement funds, and this has really taken an emotional toll on her and her family.
Why is he naked there?
And it's really stressing her out right now.
Okay, so how do we help her and what research do we have?
So she has a ton of banking transactions that we can look into. She also has this picture. Supposedly he has $47 million in a bank account somewhere.
Nice.
So maybe there's something to look at there.
So why can't he pay for his own shitting leave? Huh? Someone answer me that. I don't want to hear that his bank is frozen or some kind of BS, because if it is frozen, how about work on unfreezing it, rather than bloody getting some random person who, you forged some nonsense relationship with? I always ask this question. If the victims don't appear, is this person just forever stranded in their job? Do they never take leave? X, Y, Z? There's many questions you should be asking.
Also, maybe we could do an IP tracker, see where he's located.
Maybe. We do that all the time.
Confirm his identity.
Yeah, sounds like we have enough information. Let's get to work.
Okay, David sounds unbothered. Now, I figured, or I said this in the previous video as well, I think, he sounds like he needs a rest. So, just want to point that out.
Sharon provided us with Dennis's phone
That's
number,
AI.
email address, and banking transactions. With so much research to go over, the team got straight to work.
So I know Sharon just sent in stuff last minute. We're supposed to meet with her early next week. So we have to scramble a little bit. What do we have to work with?
So right now we have the 2 phone numbers that Dennis had been using to chat with Sharon. So I'm thinking we could look into these numbers, see what we find.
Yeah, I know we looked at it on our site and other public databases. There was nothing, but we have those tools that we use only for investigations where we can drop in the number, and what it does is it tries to log into all these different types of accounts to see if that number is registered there, and then sees what information is returned. Hopefully we find a name. Do you want to try that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see if we can find the current owner of this.
Plus 233, is that Ghana?
I believe that could be Ghana.
So has she said that they're from Ghana at all, or no?
Was I correct?
No, she has not, but you can see
is.
there it
It's
is
Ghana.
Ghana.
Whoa, look at me.
Look at that. Wow.
Michael.
So we did get a name.
We did. Okay. So another part of this,
We know who that is.
we know who that is.
Who?
His image has been used all the time.
Is it?
Pretty bad Photoshop.
I've never seen it
pictures.
before.
They're awful. Dennis loves you. I
Crazy.
mean, his hands, his body, the face, T-Rex arms. And then obviously the face doesn't match the body here, so.
Hey, I
Shouldn't
can't
be-
lie to you. I might seem stupid here, but this image that they're hovering over with the black shirt and that tree in the background, honestly, I didn't think it was weird. Goodness me. At first glance, that swindled me. Shit! That means the scammers might get the better of me one day. But I always say, you keep your wits about you anyway. Do you know what I mean? It could happen. Don't let yourself be a fool. Do you know what I mean? Keep your wits about you. As long as, or as much as you can anyway. That got me. Bloody hell.
Shouldn't be too hard to find.
What about the bank stuff? That's really interesting, right? So we have a few wire transfers that she's been asked to send money, and she's sent money to these accounts before.
She did. Yeah.
And so there's the bank in England and then the bank in Turkey, right?
England?
So what's going on with the bank
Turkey?
in England?
So we have the information for this person. Supposedly has a banking account with Revolut Bank. Here's
Revolut?
the address. And when we look this
Oh, bloody
up-
hell.
It's a business?
I don't know. It's a building with multiple businesses.
What happens if you just Google the address? Does any business come up or any person come up?
It's the same address, Revolut.
Canary Wharf?
Weird. What about a corporation lookup? Maybe we can see if there's any corporations listed.
What is going on?
It says Revolut.
Okay, I assume the scammers just used the actual address for the bank, but if you have been around UK YouTubers mainly, I guess, Revolut's always being promoted. Revolut, sponsor me, please.
Please, this is serious. serious.
I can give you the good sponsorship that you need, because this is looking bad right now. Sponsor me though, please.
Revolut Limited.
I'm begging.
Oh, but you have other offices registered to people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about that Turkish bank?
Look at the account name. It's under Ali.
I mean, it could be legit somebody in Turkey, but so what I've seen in the past, like if you look up the bank and just type in like fraud or scams, it will pop up. Like a lot of people report this stuff.
Well, it's weird. Why would a bank send you this email with this information saying, send it directly here in Turkey with the details, one of our head payment boss?
There's the payment boss, but then there's the head payment boss. That's the real boss. That's the final boss, some might say. Forget head of the table. Head payment boss. What a Anyone know of any jobs going that your title is head payment boss? I want to apply, just so that I can apply, just so that I can apply that title on dating profiles. And then maybe I'd get some matches.
Well, it wouldn't come from a Gmail account.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's look
use
up the
dating
bank.
profiles, by the way.
Interesting. Ziraat Bank?
Ziraat.
Major Turkish bank has been implicated in various fraud and financial misconduct allegations, including sanctions evasion, money laundering, and questionable transactions.
Allegedly.
Do you want to do an IP tracker?
Yeah, let's see where this guy is. I'd be willing to bet he's in Ghana based on that phone number that we got.
I agree with you.
Sounds like we have enough to follow up with her. We have a few more small details we got to tie up, but we should have enough to get her some clarity.
While we waited to see if this dentist profile would click on the IP tracker link, all that was left to do was to meet with Sharon one final time to go over all of our findings.
We're all wearing grey.
Sharon, how are you feeling about
50
meeting
Shades.
with us today?
I'm looking for answers, and my kids had told me to watch this show like long before I even got to start chatting to anybody.
Don't say that.
And I'm like, nah, I'm not stupid,
Are you serious to me right now?
No one's going to be able to do that to me. And my daughter asked me the other day, you are a public figure now. How would you feel when this comes out? I said, it's actually very good.
I didn't even...
Because it means that in South Africa, I'm going to touch much more people, and even overseas as well, too.
What do you think the
I didn't even consider
results are going to be? Do you have an idea of like what we're going to find? Or
I can't remember what she does in the government she works for, but it's very interesting. And some might argue that if the government is doing this, then, can they protect us? Allegedly, or things like that.
Or what the results are going to be?
Okay, I know deep in my heart that is not in Turkey, because like I said to Brienne, I did fly to Turkey. And I mean, if you're in Turkey, nothing's going to stop you from coming to see me in Turkey. In my heart, I want Dennis to be real, like everybody else wants Dennis to be real. But I know even the conversation last night, he was more concerned about the money that was coming through, more than anything else.
All right, so she understands, basically.
I don't know.
No, you do know.
I think I'm going to be ready for it.
Well, let's jump into it. Let's not wait any longer. We went over a lot of different things, going through this case. The first thing I want to talk about is this phone number that you were given. We use a special tool that basically what it does is it tries to log into a lot of different profiles to see if this phone number is attached to those profiles. And then it checks any type of directory listing. So any app that you can list your phone number on, it checked those. And we actually found a name behind the phone number.
Oh, it's very mysterious now. Isn't that bad? Like, surely people with nefarious means can use that, right? If they've got your phone number, they can just try logging into a bunch of your different accounts or something. It's very strange. Who made that? Because that's scary.
Name is not Dennis, it's Michael. And so we were able to find the name with the number from Ghana, right? And it's Michael.
That's a Ghana number.
That's the Ghana number.
What was the story behind that?
There was lots of times when he would phone me off that number, and I could hear like people in the background with foreign accents, and I'm like, okay, who's that? It's not like it's staff at the plant. There were signs, but love is love.
No, don't
so
say
you never
that.
heard of the name Michael?
Don't say that. I said earlier on, love doesn't mean you have to be a fool. All right? Don't agree with that. No, love is not love. All right? A lot of people, and in very different scenarios where there is an abusive relationship that that we're talking about, people say that, oh, this person loves me. Sometimes they do X, Y, Z, but I love them. No, doesn't. No, 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 no. Right? You got love for someone. That love must be reciprocated. It doesn't mean they can do whatever the hell they want in the name of love. If you're being abused, please seek professional support. And in this instance, love doesn't mean that you should be financially abused. So please, everyone, love is not love. Don't use that as an excuse.
So we're 100% certain that Michael is the person that has that phone number.
Disappointing though.
I mean, we looked at the
it's
email
not,
as well,
though, is it?
and there were
It didn't
no
seem
social
loving.
media accounts attached to this email whatsoever. It's like the email was just created only to have conversation with you.
Okay.
The other thing too is, like, most times when there's like a legitimate business, they will use their business website. We definitely see instances where people don't have a business email, but most legitimate businesses do this. And so it's typically a red flag, like somebody's contacting you from a Gmail email, because it's really easy to create one. The other red flag was that Brianne was saying is that there was nothing attached to it. So if it is a business email, they would have signed up for different sites and services and different things, and we would have been able to find those things. But in this case, it looks like it was just created.
The other part of this is that me and David did some digging. We tried Google searching to see if there's any businesses that ever existed with that name. Nothing popped up. We also used a platform called herewithh, which validates business websites. We weren't able to find any website under that name or even the name variation.
I'm disappointed because I've given a lot of money away
Yes.
to that dude. And he did say the other night that if I didn't continue with this application, then I would just lose the money.
Shut up,
So
Dennis.
Sharon, what they do is they try to hook you on the idea that you have to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you're almost there to get the money. You almost have the money. So if you stop, you lose everything. And so a lot of people, what they'll do is they keep spending the money, they keep paying the money, because they're like, if I don't pay the money, I get nothing. And I've already given so much money, so what's another few $1,000s?
Hey, I could liken that to a gambling addiction, right? I put a little bit of money in, I got some out, right? But in this case, you're getting love out. And then for the extra love, meeting up, finally building a life together, I'm gonna keep putting money in. What's the outcome? I'm already invested so much. Addictions, huh? And it is. I mean, most of these times, these victims do get addicted for one reason or another.
Right? $500,000 later, or however much later, you're like, shoot. What we're getting to is this is a scam, and Brianne's going to go over the images right now because it's actually somebody we've seen a lot.
I've never seen this guy.
I'm sure you guys have seen it a lot.
Which is interesting.
We have conducted several online investigations with other people claiming to be talking to this same person in these images.
I don't remember them.
The real man in these pictures, his name is Jose, and his images have been used for several years in online romance scams. He has nothing to do with this at all. He's a victim. Unfortunately, I actually feel terrible for the guy because his images are all over the place.
The other thing we want to talk about are the bank accounts. So you were asked to send money to a bank in Great Britain and then the other bank in Istanbul, Turkey. So Turkish banks are notorious for allowing people to sign up with very little verification.
Oh, well done, Turkey, man. Good on you guys. Doing great things out there. I, again, said this in another video. Istanbul, all right? I know accents are different, pronunciations might differ. Istanbul. It's not Istanbul. There's an A there, guys, all right? It's not ISTN, bull. Please. Stop it.
So I can go and I can create an account online to a Turkish bank. I don't have to upload all my information, or I can Photoshop my information, submit it, and the Turkish bank will still allow me.
Bloody Turkey, man.
You see this happen quite a bit. And so if you Google the bank, it's Ziraat Bank in Istanbul, Turkey, and you look up all the scams that have happened, there's all these warnings for people who've been scammed
Allegedly.
from this exact same bank.
Allegedly.
And so the bank that they're asking you to wire transfer money to has been used many, many times to scam people online.
We're shaking our heads at the
Crazy.
same time. It's
So this
crazy.
guy's obviously good with technology, basically.
Well,
So what they do is they create this playbook on how they're going to scam people. They use the same images, a lot of the same Photoshops, the software, the banking institutions, and they have this whole way of how they're going to scam people. They have this backstory, and they reuse this story all the time. And so they have people that are really good at communicating, and so they spend a lot of time, communicating with you, and then they have people that help move money. And so these banks that you're sending money to, these are money movers. They receive money, they take a little bit of the money, and then they forward the money over to the person that you are talking to. This whole thing is essentially a romance scam that you're part of.
I hear that, and I'm disappointed. Because, I had this image,
no.
like I said, the reason why I accepted him, because he was older, never been married, never had kids.
What?
And this is like a clean shot for me, and I won't have to worry about anybody else.
I get it.
To know that he's not real.
Some people might take that in a different way, though. Like, if he has kids, for example, or he's been married before, does that mean he is not worth your time? I don't know. I understand, she doesn't want any drama, so to speak. But, I don't know. It's a bit of a sour taste in my mouth saying that.
So do you want to hear where the person is that you're actually talking to?
Yes, please.
Well, me and you synced last week, Sharon, and we created a tracker
Synced?
together.
What does that mean?
We made this tracker to look like a crypto redemption gift card.
You didn't want to use it. He kept on saying no.
Well, he used it, and he definitely tried to click on it. And then we have 3 clicks from Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria.
So the actual person you're talking to is in Nigeria, and they are leveraging people from different parts of the world. They're leveraging people from Turkey, they're leveraging people from the UK, they're leveraging people from Ghana to try to scam.
Like a big ring.
What a sophisticated system, eh?
And if there's other people that you're sending money to, most likely they're also involved in some sort of scam as well. Which means this person that you're talking to has probably been doing this for quite some time.
I was gonna say, when she said sophisticated, I don't normally agree, because usually what we see, it's very low level, right? It's like one person doing up nonsense in their shit-stained boxes, do you know what I mean? But on this level, this case, when you involve different countries and stuff, yeah, I can agree. It becomes a little bit more sophisticated, but maybe in the grand scheme of things, it still isn't, because a lot of the things you would hope people would catch on the ridiculousness. So maybe in that sense, it's still not sophisticated, but in terms of it going global, it's bloody sophisticated, Mr. Worldwide.
But point taken.
Or something.
Yeah, no, this has happened before as well.
Sorry, what?
Well, after him, basically.
How are you feeling now? I mean, now you know everything.
Did she just admit to being scammed? Or
Know what the reality is.
It's not a good feeling.
Of course.
Because it's like a dream that's been dashed.
Dream
This is also going to be a lesson for a lot of people as well.
Well, we have your back, Sharon. Like, we want to help you out. We want...
Understand.
You're such a sweet person, and we want to help you, move forward and find... There's the right person out there for you, 100%.
Of course.
There's no reason why you cannot find a real person, a real man, to talk to be able to go out on a date with in person, and hopefully live the rest of your life with.
When I went to Turkey to go meet up with Dennis, I did meet somebody in Turkey, and I was shutting him out, and he vegetates me. And he's like, when are you coming back to Turkey? And I'm like,
Wait a minute.
In my mind, I know I'm in a relationship and I won't go any further.
Hold on.
And this is such a nice guy.
And he's real.
Hold on.
He's real.
Hold on. All right, let's pump the brakes here. Get the horses back in the stable, okay? I'm gonna be maybe very cynical to some people. I'm gonna sound cynical. But just because he is real doesn't mean he has real intentions, okay? You were there doing whatever it is you were there to do, right? You weren't there for long. But all of a sudden, you've met someone and they're asking for you, when are you coming back and whatnot. You know, what's the time frame here? We're not talking months and months of spending time with that person. And if you were thinking you're in a relationship already, how much time could you have actually spent with that person, right? So I'm just pointing it out there. It still could be someone trying to take advantage of you. We've seen many cases of that. You know, people from different countries, maybe you go over for a holiday or something. Holiday love rats, right? So it's just pointing that out. Don't get too happy about this.
He took me out for dinner, and my daughter video chatted at 1:00 in the morning in Turkey.
Right.
And I made him say hello, and she kept on saying, "This guy's real, mom. My son is. This guy's real, mom."
Are the doors open for you to talk to this guy?
Yeah, no, we do chat. I think he's a little bit frustrated now because I've been busy, and he says you're always busy, and he's got a restaurant and stuff down there. So,
Well, we would love to hear a follow-up, by the way. I think you should message him right now and say, I have more time. We'll be in touch. We wish you the best of luck.
Yes,
and I want to
thank
hear
you,
more about
Sharon.
this man in Turkey, next time we talk.
I do.
all right.
As
Thank you,
well.
guys. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much.
And all the best. God bless you guys.
You too.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Yes, there was oh, well, not this part. This one. Yes, it was used a bit.
Seekers, it's almost time for our weekly live stream. You
Go
can
do that.
find the link to our live stream on our YouTube channel by clicking the live tab.
Go do that. Check it out. I might check it out. You know, I'm interested if she will come on and share more about this guy in Turkey. Because as of right now, I have some reservations, okay? Not in his restaurant, but if he is a real guy with good intentions, I'd gladly come down. If you can make me some plant-based foods, I'm down, baby. So overall, there were obviously many red flags. She seems like a nice enough person. It does make a good change from the other victims. Refreshing in a sense that she was willing and accepting of the information. I think it's important to point out, though, that she kind of knew, right? She did have those inklings that this wasn't real, but she was seeking that extra validation. And I really hope, and I want to push out to everyone that, again, as I said earlier, if you do have a small inkling or a gut feeling or anything of the sort that something's not right, run with it. All right, what's the worst that can happen? It would have saved her a couple $1,000s, do you know what I mean? But also, unfortunately, we're not always going to have someone there to hold our hands and to guide us through things. So, I mean, how many people get catfished in the world? And they can't go and, get the catfish team's help, for example. Or they don't have the luxury that some people have with having good people around them to tell them, hey, this is not right, XYZ. Some people are alone, truly, and they get catfished and they got no one to turn to. So I hope everyone within themselves can recognize that it is okay for you yourself to put your foot down. You don't always need someone to validate that. Hopefully that makes sense. Head over now to the original comments video section. I can never say that properly. What the hell's wrong with me? We'll go over to the original video's comment section, see what people are saying. We'll discuss a few things. Whatnot. And I'll be right back in a jiffy. Tantalizing talk time. We're first starting with a TT member. Shout out Misplaced Texan. Any man who needed to borrow money to come and see me can't afford me. Now, I mentioned before that people in relationships, at least from my perspective, my opinion, and what I would do, is make myself seem better than I am, but not in a bad way. If I am struggling for money, for example, I'm not going to tell you that. Do you know what I mean? And if I am ever going to tell you that, and I do say, hey, I need X amount of money for me to come and see you, you need to slap me virtually, all right? You need to hang up the line, do whatever, and leave me alone. That is not someone that you even start a relationship with. Now, maybe there's like crazy, sorry, maybe there's like crazy scenarios where something like that genuinely has happened and a person has given money to someone else for them to come see them and it's worked out fine. And, they live on a island now or something. Maybe it's happened. But in most cases, that person is either taking advantage of your kindness and trying to swindle you, right? Or they probably do that to a lot of people just to get some of the moolahs. So just watch out. And, meeting up is free. Video calls are free. Despite, you have to pay for phone bills and stuff. It relies on the internet. And then, I gotta pay the internet bill and so. But that's not my problem. You get it? So run away. But also, going back to what I was saying about putting a good foot forward or best foot forward or something like that when you're just speaking to someone. In certain cases, it's okay, right? But sometimes, a lot of the times, don't just lie for the sake of it, right? If you truly don't like something, for example, just be honest, right? I always give the example of people who don't like their partner, and this is the early stages, so I'm not going to use partner, I'm just going to talk about just in general. People who don't like someone who goes out clubbing every day and all that stuff, right? If you don't like that, don't start a relationship with that person. You get what I mean? Don't try and put your best foot forward. If it's something you don't like, you tell that person and you go find someone who actually fits what you're looking for. Not try and change the other person. Maybe we're getting off topic, but basically, don't give people money to meet them. Next up, Alison says, I just don't get how some women can't live their lives without a man. This goes for anyone, to be honest. It is a sad thing that some people can't live without being in a relationship, essentially. Live, not as in like, you end up bloody perishing because you're not in a relationship, but you don't live life and you sort of attribute happiness to being in a relationship. And me personally, I don't think it should be that way. You can very much be happy, even happier than some others who are in a relationship by being single, all right? And it's better to be single than in a loveless relationship. Maybe you both just don't really like each other anymore, but you're in it because you've spent X amount of time together, so you can't really call it quits. Otherwise, it's seen as time wasted. But please, you can live a happy life with yourself. I wouldn't say by yourself, because at some point, probably we all need someone to lean on, but that can come in the way of friends and family. Doesn't need to be someone romantic, can be platonic. So be happy with yourself, and then you can be happy by yourself. Well, there's a quote. Oh, so philosophical. No, but seriously, it's okay. Next up, we're on the Turkey topic. Just be careful, the man from Turkey could be scammer too. Lots of Turkish men are scammers too. I mean, lots of Turkish women could be scammers as well. Let's not just generalize to the men here. Scammers are scammers. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. Anyone. Doesn't matter. So, but on that note, she got to watch out, Maybe I'm being too cynical. Maybe some of the comments are being too cynical as well, because I did see comments also speaking about, as we saw here, the guy in Turkey. It's just be careful. All in all, just because someone's shown that they're real, right? You can pull on the skin. Oh, it's not AI. Although AI could probably do that now. It's good sometimes. It doesn't mean that there's genuine intentions, right? And you got to be careful anyway. Someone face to face with you could be displaying red flags that you got to watch out for anyway. People in real relationships, doesn't matter months down the line or whatever, they could also display red flags that you got to watch out for. So just always be on alert as much as possible and be safe as much as possible. The next question touches on the exchange rate and the currency, the money spent, the true value of it, where she lives in South Africa, and I think it's very interesting. I didn't even consider that aspect. Guys, do you even know how much $17,400 is in South African Rand? At today's exchange rate, this is approximately 308,766 Rand. This is about the average South African household's annual income. That's insane to me. Alright, this woman, willy-nilly, is dashing around average household incomes. So, cool, she's well off. And I always say, people might call me salty for this, XYZ, yeah? However, if you have that kind of money, I find it a spit in the face to everyone that you're just dashing it about. Now, cool, some might argue, which they do, it's not my money. But that means you're just happy watching that individual do that with their own money, which, I guess, look, if this is a sack of shit victim who is a bigot and all sorts, you know, I'm gonna draw a line at them spending their money because I don't really care. They're a nasty person, so I don't really have sympathy. But in Sharon's case, whilst I do think she is nicer than most, it's hard to find sympathy because she doesn't seem to consider that money would be better use on a cruise or something. I don't know. I gave that example just because you're able to meet people with similar interests, I guess, if you're on a cruise. But doing whatever she does as a hobby and what she enjoys, using that money for that, and then you would find someone real life who is obviously going to enjoy the same things as you. So, I think I mentioned cruise because in a previous episode there was cruisy, and I feel like cruisy is still ingrained in my head. So, basically, she kind of spat in people's faces, and I know her children are adults, but obviously that money could be better used, you know, supporting them in whatever it is. You know, maybe they want to go on a holiday or something. I don't know. Just, there's many aspects to consider, and I feel like she just spat in people's faces. So, yeah, forgive me if I sound salty, but I wish people who did have a lot of money understood the true value of money. Next up, okay, I've posted AI pictures and pictures with me wearing a filter and have fooled my aunts into believing they're real, but that picture of him holding a sign was the fakest of fake pictures I've ever seen. Even my aunts would be able to see. I'm finding it hard to have sympathy for these people these days. Again, touching on the fact that whilst she might seem nicer than most, I still struggle to have sympathy. And it's because of this. Yes, there was a picture that I was like, oh, that's kind of swindled me. It wasn't anything too blatantly shambolic. But that picture with the grey shirt, what are we doing here, right? You claim to love this individual. You are seeing their pictures, which I presume they are sending to you. And that's what you believe? That genuinely? The neck so much slimmer than the head is big, it looks like a pop figure, for the love of God. I can't have sympathy for that, do you know what I mean? Now this next comment is very strange in my opinion, and I'm not sure what's the angle we're running with here. Why does Bree always say these real men are victims themselves? Full-grown men with open social media profiles taking selfies are not victims. They are narcissists. I feel like you've jumped the gun there, to be honest, attaching narcissism to people who post pictures of themselves online. I feel like you've jumped the gun there. People, post whatever you want to post. If you do have an open social media profile, me personally, I don't think you're a narcissist. So, maybe there's a level of, you know, attention that you are seeking, but I liken it to these videos. Like, I am creating these videos because I want people to see them. I want you guys to see them. So could you attribute that as attention seeking? I'm not sure. I've always enjoyed making people laugh, smile, right? So that's why I do these videos, and you give the videos attention by watching them. Like it's an exchange of sorts. You know, you get the videos, and I would hope that the videos make you laugh and take your mind off things. So would you call that attention seeking? You know, the pictures, he's just sharing his life, and maybe people see those pictures, they press like because they like, maybe they live a similar life and they relate. As these videos, some people relate. So I wouldn't, there's a level of attention seeking there, but it's like a comedian goes on stage to tell jokes, make you feel better, make you forget about things, and you go and see the comedian. Like that's what YouTube is, right? So, but I understand we're not talking about YouTube here. We're talking about people who have social media profiles and post pictures and stuff. But they're not narcissists for doing that. They are sharing things that they like, XYZ. And if people press like and relate to what they're seeing and stuff, that doesn't make them a narcissist. So I don't understand this person's point of view. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. The next comment has a reply to it that we'll look at, and it's interesting. I didn't really think about it too much during the initial commentary reaction portion, but let's discuss it, right? So if you're busy working that you don't have time for your husband, why do you go looking for another person? I found it amazing she said the reason for divorce was that they didn't have time for each other, and then right after getting divorced, she retires. I guess it just wasn't the time that was the problem. So the first part, why do you go looking for another person? Obviously, the reply sort of brings up the fact that she retired. So, you know, you're going to have a lot more time. So you want to go and share that time with another person. But the reply raises a good point. Why would you get divorced? If you were so close to being retired, or was it close? I don't know. Could you argue there were more problems in that relationship than what she probably let on? Because if it really was about time, you were probably thinking about retiring soon anyway. So if everything was all hunky-dory and you loved each other, then you would, you know, stick it out. Now, I'm not saying every relationship, just because you both love each other. Actually, yes, you know, you stick things out if you both love each other. Because from her explanation, there wasn't anything drastic in the relationship that was an issue. I mean, yes, timing, if you don't have time for each other, the romance dwindles and all that stuff, I get it. But you get what I'm trying to say. It wasn't anything abusive that was mentioned. So, it's interesting. I would love to know more. As I was mentioning earlier about something that I forgot, I would love to know more. She doesn't owe us anything, I guess, right? But maybe there's more there. Because if it was just about time, you know, I feel like, yeah, cool, jobs might be difficult to get time away from and stuff. But you make the time, I believe. Like if you're married, you're going to make time for your partner at some point. But that maybe that's a shocking concept, huh? Sticking things out in a marriage. Let me know your thoughts. Now, the previous comment we looked at sort of was going at men, right? Calling them narcissists for having open profiles or something like that. This comment is now going at women, it seems. Notice how we aren't seeing any more stories around men getting scammed. I believe it might be because the commenters on this channel putting them on blast and calling them creeps, etc. I would wager any fellas falling for a scam just aren't willing to get put on blast. The women commentators are more critical of men than women getting scammed, so enjoy only these types of stories Or, so enjoy only these type of stories from now on, queens. What the hell are you talking about, bro? Because I literally see when a woman is also being a creep, the victim, they get called out as well. I don't know what any of the points are being made on comments like this. Like, you're blaming the creepy men who get scammed for not appearing on the show. You're blaming that on women. How about they just don't be creeps, don't get scammed, and then they don't have anything to be called out on? Ah, shocking concept. Don't be a creep and you won't get called out for being a creep. Oh, what the hell is going on in the comment section, bro? I mentioned in another video, I get it. The internet is the internet. There's always going to be strange individuals, yeah? Spreading all sorts of BS. But I feel like the comment section is becoming more of a cesspool for idiots. But let me know your thoughts. What is this person talking about? Because my brain hurts trying to understand, really. And then lastly, this is a comment I've seen a few times now, and I've gave my opinion on it before, but obviously it's been a while since I've actually commented on such a comment. So, new video, it's been a while, I'll give my thoughts again. But nobody asked, but that's what this section is about. Scamfish, you guys need to create a dating website with and for all the people that y'all have helped. No, how about that? I strongly disagree with that. Because a lot of the victims who do appear on this show, and maybe even 100% of them, in one way or another, they have something that they need to work on internally. And I don't think you can just plug the void, fill the void. Instead of working on yourself, you fill the void with another partner. And to be honest, I think Sharon here is a good example of that. Because, yes, she had 2 marriages. Would you argue that instead of working on herself after the first marriage, she maybe got married too quickly again? There's always that sort of debate. But then retiring, divorcing, and then getting or trying to find someone else, as much as she says she wasn't looking for dates and all that. I don't believe most of the victims who say that, to be honest. But you've now gone for another individual, fallen head over heels, and I don't think you've properly addressed your own internal conflicts. As in, I believe she attributes happiness to relationships. That's what I believe, going off what we saw. And I don't think she addressed that. You can grieve relationships. And I think a lot of people don't think that way. Taking time to yourself and just living your life, right? But I don't think it's a good idea. And a lot more of the victims that have appeared on this show are more vulnerable than Sharon. And I just don't think it's a good idea to have a dating website that is full of vulnerable individuals. Now, you obviously got the aspect of, can you control who signs up? Because a scammer's going to find their way into there somehow, right? And then you get the aspect of, you've got individuals who are vulnerable, and you put them together. Is that a recipe for disaster, right? Are they going to actually be able to help each other because they haven't addressed their own vulnerabilities? So hopefully that makes sense. Before we close out this commentary, I did actually check out the live stream and I picked out a few parts that I feel strongly about, we'll say, and I wanted to share them with you, give my thoughts. You let me know of your thoughts in the comments as well. And just warning, I guess, I'm triggered. So, with that being said, here is the first part.
At the end of the day, just take into consideration, it's my money, No one should be finding this something that they could gossip about.
How many times have I said that this isn't a valid excuse. All right? I always say you will do what you will do at the end of the day. Doesn't matter if people are giving you advice. Doesn't matter if a rat boy is giving his opinion on a bloody screen. You will do what you will do, and you will do what you feel is best. I completely understand that. I don't have you like this, do you know what I mean? Like, listen to me. None of that. And you are well in your rights to do whatever it is you want to do. However, to say that it's your money so people can't gossip about it, maybe she means it in the way of you shouldn't. But unfortunately, when you are doing foolish things, people are going to speak about it. People are going to call you out. So the context here is she was giving a speech of some kind. I don't bloody know. She was talking about her being on the board of retirement homes, I think it was. And I guess she was telling people, stop talking about her, I guess. But it's the world. When you're doing foolish things, people will speak. And I don't know if it's just me, but that kind of strips accountability away from you. Because it's like, yeah, it's my money. You can never tell me what to do about it. When I'd like to believe the opposite. It is my money, sure. But if I'm doing dumbness, I would hope people tell me. So I'm not sure how to feel about that. And I said she seems nicer than most, but I don't know. The live stream left a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know if it was because it was late, timing wise for me, and I'm like, I want to sleep, so it's just extra making me angry. But let me know your thoughts. And here is the second part I picked out.
Do you know, I've been watching a lot of your shows, and sometimes people don't get it. They will continue doing stuff like it. And talking to him this morning, it just took me right back to the reason why we started talking. I know he's not real, I can't wait for the day when I get to speak to him with you guys online. But
hold on, because in the commentary we had to pump the brakes. Let's pump them again. Did she just admit that she's still talking to the scammer? Please someone tell me, because I feel like that's what that means. Unless I've misunderstood her. That's what it means. When I was speaking to him, it brought back feelings of the beginning. Or what are you talking about? And how can you preface that if it is indeed you were still speaking to him? How are you prefacing that with you watch the show and some people don't learn, they keep on going X, Y, Z? But you've just done this. I don't understand. My brain. And then the last part, I'm holding my phone because I was making notes as I was bloody watching the live stream, because I knew I would probably forget, because my eyes were like this at that point. Like that. They're like, oh. So, bear with me, okay? The guy from Turkey gets brought up. His name is Shahin, right? He's frustrated with her because she was meant to go in July, then switch to August, which I think was mentioned in the actual video anyway, but nevertheless, she was selected on a board of retirement homes, so she couldn't just leave to go to Turkey, which is understandable. You've got some priorities now, right? She tried convincing him to come South Africa, but he said she's got to go there first. What? Like, isn't he just seemingly sounding as the online romance scammer, but just in real life? Like, I've always said, and I think I said it in the bloody commentary many times anyway, just because someone is real and, they're right there and stuff, it don't mean their intentions are real. So, let me know your thoughts about that. Very strange he's not willing to go to South Africa to see her. She must come to him, because that's how things work, I guess. You are the one, chasing after her. So why don't you go to her? Do you know what I mean? How they met is actually beyond ridiculous, in my opinion. And I actually wrote actually beyond ridiculous. Do you want to see? Have a look. You can't see, but if you pause it, spoiler, I've ruined what I'm going to talk about, I guess. She was doing a tour. Shahin comes over, taps her shoulder, gives her a business card. She's confused. She's confused? What the hell is that? She's confused, asks what it's for, and he says, I'm taking you to dinner. She thinks she's safe because she's a tourist. First of all, obviously, I am not Sharon, right? And Sharon is not me. I am not you. Blah, blah, blah. If it was me, and a random person is tapping me on the shoulder, giving me a card and saying, I'm taking you to dinner, I'm very creeped out. I'm not going to lie to you. And throughout this section, I just got the vibe that Sharon's maybe lived a bubble-wrapped life, because she doesn't seem to think anything can harm her, or there's no dangers in the world. And actually, ironically, that's a very dangerous way to live. And did I mention she thinks she's safe because she's a tourist? Or did I not? Well, I've said it now. That's what she said, right? Not the funny joke, dirty. That's what she said. She genuinely said she's safe because she's a tourist. What? I don't know if she, genuinely is oblivious to what goes on in the world, or just, as she probably thought with the scam stuff in the beginning, this can't happen to me. And I think she said that as well. So just be safe, everyone. Someone randomly invites you to dinner. Take that with a pinch of salt, do you know what I mean? Luckily, she had her family there with her. But a lot of the times, especially if you're traveling alone, bloody be careful, man. Goodness, and we'll move on again because I guess it doesn't stop there. That night, she was having dinner with her family. Reception calls her to say someone's waiting for her. Shahin's there, which is probably ringing off alarm bells in your heads. And his reasoning behind how he found her at this restaurant is that he knows all the tour guides. Sure, you know all the tour guides, but why have you come hunting me down like James Bond or something? Does that make sense to anyone? I understand, she might think this is romantic and whatnot, but it's the bubble-wrapped life I was talking about. Yeah, this might seem romantic, but it could also seem serial killer-esque, bro. I'm not saying Shahin is, by the way. I'm just saying this is very dangerous. And she's not really taking any precaution here. Maybe I could sweep under the rug. Donnie taps you on the shoulder. He says he wants to take you out to dinner. All right, he's flirting in the middle of the street, I guess. But then he finds you whilst you're having dinner with your family. Sorry, that doesn't make sense to me, all right? Because I'm asking the question, sure, he knows all the tour guides, but did the tour guide know she will be at the restaurant? And then did they give that information? Because surely that's creepy. Tour guides are just giving out information on you to strangers. Or did he find out her name from the tour guides, her number, XYZ, and tracked her down? James Bond style. I had enough, okay? At that point, I was already knackered. I said, you know what? I can't listen to any more of this. Because this woman clearly doesn't care about her own safety. So why am I listening to her? It was infuriating me, to be honest. So as much as she seems nicer than most, she's either really oblivious to what goes on in the world, or she just doesn't care. Would that be oblivious? No, because oblivious means you don't know it's happening, but maybe let me know your thoughts, all right? I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I'll take 17 grand if you're offering, though.